Hello everybody and welcome to a 2017 roundup, I guess, of games. I probably got a better title for that by the time I actually put it up. This is like top 10 games I've enjoyed playing in 2017, so that it may have come out, you know, like 5 years ago or 2 years ago or a couple months before 2017 started. But it's games that I specifically have played in 2017. I'm going to go through them all. I'm going to start at number 10. Work my way down, like a little countdown. See if you guys can guess what my number one favourite game is of 2017 that I played. But there's definitely a game that stood out as like number one. And it was just kind of like working my way back from them. And I've just like taken some clips from different episodes and recorded some footage if I needed to like play over the top of this. So I hope you guys enjoy just watching me fumble around in games. But to start off, number 10 is a game that I have not played on the channel. It's just a privately played one, but it is called Reigns, and it is this really, really like adorable sort of choice decision making game where you either have like a positive answer or a negative answer, I guess, and what you pick affects like 4 different things at the top, which you'll see on screen right now, which I think is like the church, the people, the army and the money, I believe. And I originally went into it going, right, I'm going to be the best king that this kingdom has ever seen, because you're a king basically and you have to just make choices. I only came across this game because I saw that they'd released a second one recently called Reigns Her Majesty, which I also own, but I haven't actually started playing it. The situations you get yourself into are weird. Like yesterday I was just playing it and I married 2 werewolves together. And the church was like, why? And I was like, 'cause I could. So it definitely gives you some weird situations to deal with, but also it's super fun at the same time. And yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's really, really cheap at the moment because it's on sale, but it's also quite cheap in general. And you can get so many deaths, it's ridiculous. I've barely scratched the surface on getting deaths, but yeah, that is my number 10 game. Because I only picked it up recently, but it's my number 10 game, I would say, because it's good, but it's not quite as good as the top one, you know. So I guess I'll move on to number 9, which some of you guys may or may not hate me for, but I have over 1,000 hours in this game, so that should just prove to you how much I just enjoy playing this game. It's The Sims 4. Yes, it didn't come out last year. This is one of those. It hasn't come out the past year. This is one of those games I just played a lot this year. And all the time. It's for me, you know how people play like cookie clicker games and things like that? The Sims is that for me. I just tend to like sort of bung it on while I'm watching a YouTube video and I just make a family, have babies and whatever, and sometimes I do like a storyline and I just enjoy playing it. I enjoy the creativity you get with The Sims, I really do. It's basically one of like my constant games I always play. Which is, you know, a bad thing or a good thing, depending on how you're looking at it. I have put a lot of money into this game as well, so I feel like it's justified putting that amount of money in for me because I play it so often. I like it. I love how, because the most recent expansion pack was cats and dogs, so I was like, yes, animals! I really like The Sims 4, I really do. I think it's so much fun. I like The Sims games in general, like all of them really. But I've only ever played 4, a little bit of 3 and 2, so. But I don't know, I'd recommend them if you like those kind of games, I really would. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I really like it. I don't know, I like the creativity you can have with it as well. And the many ways you can kill your Sims. I also enjoy that one too, because that's super cool. Coming in at number 8 is, I'm looking down at a list by the way, if I sound weird. Coming in at number 8 is a game that I have played on the channel with Annie and Devon. We were actually talking about it last time we met up and how we should continue it, because we haven't gone back to it in a while, and it is Dream Daddy, which you might probably have already seen on the screen by now. But yeah, number 8 is Dream Daddy. Such like a kind of, I don't know, I really enjoyed playing it. It's like what I have played, and I've played some privately and some with Annie and Devon on the channel, and it's just so interesting. It's so weird and so interesting. And it's kind of, it takes like the dating sim genre, and it still has the elements of like normal dating sims, but it's just like dads dating dads. I just think that's so cool, because you have the thing of like, do I want to sleep with this person? And you're like, but I have a kid. oh, is my kid got to sleep with that person's son? Oh no, you know. I like that aspect of like, oh, I have responsibilities. I want to be like a cool dad, but you know, I also want to sleep around and be a hoe bag. You know, well for me, I did when I was playing it. You know, I was like bad dad all the way. You know, I want to play well, want to sleep with bad dad. It's a good game for the genre it is. I feel like it is a little bit short, which is one of the downsides to this game. I do feel like it is a bit short in the story length when you actually start getting into it. But you could definitely flesh it out by doing everybody's sort of like track before you go, yeah, I'm gonna bone down with this dad when you get to like the third and final date, because I think the third and final date is like the point of no return. Once you do that, you can't go back and date other people. But you could do the first 2 dates with everybody to like really get a taster of how everybody is. Oh, that sounds weird when I said that, but do you know what I mean? And I don't know, I think it was a lot of fun playing with Annie and Devon as well, because it kind of, we got to like giggle about certain stuff and be like, which dad do you like the best? And then we made Marshall Mallow, who was a pink and white looking marshmallow man, which we love him. His best dad. I also like the characters in it. Like, I like how all the dads are fairly unique in their personalities. Some of them like overlap, you know, I'm not gonna say they don't, but in most dating sims you always get that. So I can say the majority of ones that I've played at usually revolve around 4 main people that you can date. Whereas this was like 7, so that's probably why they're shorter in the long run. I feel like it was good, I feel like the stories are good. I don't know, I again, it's one of those games that I just, you know, I really enjoyed playing it, and I would suggest it to people that like the dating sim genre. I think it's really interesting. I like the ability to like make your own dad at the beginning. I think that's really interesting, because usually you're set up with a girl or a guy and you're like, this is the person you are meant to be. But in this you could make like an overweight dad, you could make like a buff dad, you could make him have like bright green hair and purple lipsticks, and it was, I don't know, it's really cool. And it's even cooler because it's like, was funded and I think backed and produced by the Game Grumps, which is like a YouTube channel if you don't know about it. They do super cool stuff. I like their way of gameplaying. It's just like relaxed, chilled. But yeah, overall, the game, solid game. Felt it was a bit short, but it is their first one, so they could do a second one, a sequel, or like a different thing, and make it slightly longer and learn from their mistakes. Also, there's a few bugs. There's a few bugs in this game, which if I've downloaded the right episode, you'll be seeing now, where we were getting down and dirty with Bad Dad, and Amanda, our daughter in the game, was like in the scene, and we were like, this is super weird. But that was a really fun moment, super fun. But it is a little bit buggy, a little bit. But overall, would recommend it to people who like that genre. I really would. So let's go on to number 7. And number 7 is again a game that didn't come out this year, but I played on the channel this year with my good friend Devon. And it is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Solid game, still holds up. It's such a beautiful game. And to this day, like, I still kind of think about the story and I'm like, you know, did we miss something? I'm like still trying to like piece it together in my mind, like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is what happened, but what if it didn't, you know? And like, the music is exquisite, it like completely like sums up the whole like atmosphere of the game. And oh, if you haven't played it, go. I'm not sure how much it is on the sale right now. It's probably a decent amount. Still, because it's like a high-end, not high-end, but it's not like the most cheap game in the world, so it's probably like, I'd say about 6 or 9 probably on the sale. If it's for cheaper, pick it up. So good, so worth it. It's such an interesting story and the way of developing a story within a game. The graphics are beautiful. Really shows you what country life looks like in England, which, being an English person myself, if you guys have not guessed by now, I kind of was like, yep, nope, that's exactly what we're like in England. We tend to gravitate, like in countrysides, it's more like flowery, pretty cuteness in the countrysides. I love the aspect of just walking around, figuring out what happened. You know, where is everybody? Did they go to the rapture? Who knows? You'll have to watch my playthrough to find out. Plug. Or buy it yourself and play. I won't mind if you do either of those two, because they're both really good. And I don't know, it was a really, really good game, and I enjoyed playing with Devon again, because I was able to like spitball ideas off of her, and she gave me ideas, and it was really, really fun and entertaining. I liked seeing the light people talking. I thought that was really interesting concept, and stunningly beautiful game as overall. And it's, I don't know, I feel like it's a very unique way of storytelling. Kind of in the vein of like Dear Esther and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, you know. It's really, really good, and I really enjoy playing it. It's a thoroughly a good game. That's why it's on the list. Originally it wasn't, and I was like, I need one more. And I was like, oh, I know exactly which one. So I like put it in. And yeah, I really, really enjoy that game. And I'd recommend it wholeheartedly, recommend it to anybody and everybody. That's Everybody's Gone to Raptor. So coming in at number 6, you guessed it, guys. It's South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Buddy, was that such a good game this year? Oh, damn, it's so good. It was a really good sequel, I would say, to the first one. Now, people are like, meh about it, but I would say it still captures the same South Parky essence the first game had. I would say the combat's slightly easier. I would say that the story is still pretty well developed. The ending, a bit iffy, not gonna lie. But I did like the ending they like came back with, where it was like Butters saying stuff, and I was like, yep, that's very South Parky. Yep. I loved the side quests. I loved the new characters you got to meet from later seasons. It's such a fantastic game. If you love the South Park world, and if you love South Park or are into like satirical humor, it's such a good game to buy for someone like that. I know my brother just got it, and he's like enjoying it. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed making my character, exploring my character's lore, like backstory a bit more, going forward and backwards in time with my farts. It's so South Parky. That's what makes it good. Now, I did have a few qualms with it. One of them, which I think everybody had with, was the DLC. The first game didn't have DLC, so why was there some in the second game? It's probably a cash grab from Ubisoft more than anything. Which is fine. It's up to you if you want to buy a DLC. I don't know how much the DLC adds to the game. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. But from what I can gather, it's like a costume and some story missions, or like side questy missions, which in my mind is not worth it. You know, because the DLC was announced the same day the game released. So they had DLC the same day that the game released. Why didn't they just add it to the game? You know? And my other qualm with it, which is something I got used to, but I did not see the point to it at all, which was the goddamn stupid pressing R to inspect, which was the only way you could throw stuff, the only way you could trigger bringing in your buddies to help you get through certain puzzles. I hated that. There was no need for that at all. You could have added that as different key bindings, like for each different thing, like, you know, press F to throw a firework or something, you know? You could have done that, but they didn't. They did it in this way, and I did not like that. That's more of a personal thing for me, but if you are also in the same mind that you also don't like those kind of things, then meh. But for me, the overall game kind of got rid of those two factors because I just enjoyed playing the main game. I enjoyed playing side quests. I enjoyed just all the different storylines. Like you had Tweaking Craig storylines, Stan's dad back, which Randy's always a good character. He's like one of my favourite characters in the TV show. You had Butters, sweet innocent Butters shoving a hamster up my butt. Gonna leave it at that. Gonna let you guys go and watch or play and find out what happens. Yeah, would recommend it if you enjoyed the first game. I really, really enjoyed that. So, on to number 5. So we're halfway through the list, guys. Stick with me. It'll be a long video, but it'll be worth it. It won't be. It won't be at all. I'll try and get through these ones quickly. Number 5 is Life is Strange. Oh, it's like one of my favourite games. Like, if I had to tell someone, like, if someone asked me what my favourite game is, that's one of the ones that first comes to my mind. Or used to before number 1 came around. It was like, Life is Strange, so good. Again, like I said, it didn't come out this year, but I've been playing it on the channel this year, and I know you guys have been enjoying it, because I know that, like myself, a lot of you guys like the story-based, like, actions have consequences kind of games, which puts a lot of pressure on me, going, oh my god, everybody's gonna die. But I do enjoy playing them. That's the downside. I really enjoy playing them. And Life is Strange, it's so graphic, like the art style is so interesting, the storyline is gripping in so many different ways, the choices do tend to have slight consequences, not big ones, but slight ones, where like people will help you or not, and that kind of thing, which I really enjoy it when like choices actually do make a difference. It's like the main character for me was like creepily relatable when I first played it. I was like, I wanted to be a photographer. I have brown hair, and at the time it was short. It's like, I have short brown hair. Oh god, I'm awkward in social situations. I don't know when boys are flirting with me, so, you know, I was like, I am Max! And I was like, where's my superpowers, huh? Whole world, where's my superpowers? And I don't know, I found, maybe that's why I liked it more. I found it really relatable. It also the game came out at a time where I needed that game to come out, you know? You know how certain things sort of come around when you're like feeling down or whatever. I was in a really like sad, depressed moment when that game came out, and it took my mind off things, and it's something that I continue to go and watch. I continue to go and watch other people playthroughs of it because I just love watching it. I've played it like 5 or 6 times myself. I enjoy watching new people play it. I haven't seen anything about it. So for example, Annie and Devon, my two close friends, have been playing it. Every time Annie comes down from university at my house, they've been playing it. And they got to episode 4 and they're about to start episode 5, but we had to go away and Annie hasn't been down since to like play it again. And it's driving them insane. Not knowing what happens in episode 5, and I'm like, yes, ha 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 ha. If you love choice, like story-driven games, it's so worth it, so worth it. And the characters for me were very relatable. In the high school aspect as well. When I first saw it, I was like about 17, 16, and I was like, yes, this is me. It's amazing. Such a good game. And it leads quite nicely onto what my number 4 spot is. It's another choice-based game, but this time it's from our good friends at Telltale. Telltale's Batman: The Enemy Within. So good. I enjoy being in Gotham. I enjoy being Batman. I enjoy being able to like punch people in the face, and you know, and I especially like this second season because it dives more into the characters that everybody knows. So even people that don't really know the comic books like myself, I can be like, oh, I recognise Harley Quinn, oh, I recognise the Joker, oh, I recognise Mr. Freeze. We're gonna go with that. Oh, I recognise Bane. Oh, Catwoman. Hello, Catwoman. Oh, Alfred. Oh, Gordon. You know. And it's so interesting being in that world and being like Batman and having to be like, do I choose this option which will damage my relationship with this character to save this character, or, you know, do I say screw that character and put the relationship with this character above it all? And it's so good. And like, I have definitely, like, at the end of it, I'm always like, damn, Batman's so good. At the end of every episode so far. Now I know it's not over, but it did come out this year, so if you love story-based, choice-based, story-based and choice-based games, would recommend, but I would recommend playing the first one if you haven't, and you want to play the second one, but it's not necessary. But I think to sort of build up a backstory with the first season, it's kind of good to know that as like a foothold to play the second one. So good! So good! I can't say any more. I just, like I said, I love these kind of games where like the story is it's a very story-driven game. And your actions do have slight consequences, which and it's just fun being Batman as well, because you get to say, I am the Knight, and, you know, get to have that romance with Catwoman, yo! Which, I know there's a few of you guys on my channel that definitely came through a certain episode. Not gonna say anything. I'm gonna let you guys think about that one. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it, but to be honest, I would recommend all the Telltale Games stuff. But this one, over the past year, is one that's like stuck with me, and I'm like, yes, okay, what is the next episode gonna entail? When is the next episode coming out? And it's been like on my mind. And that's kind of how I worked through this list. I was like, how often has this game been in my mind, at the forefront of my mind? And this game was definitely one of those ones where I was like, oh gosh, I screwed everything up. Everybody's dead. And then like episode 2 came around, I was like, okay, we're building the bridges we burnt, and then we're burning some new ones, but that's fine. And then like episode 3 came around, I was like, yeah, building those bridges, woo! And then something happened at the end, which I'm not going to spoil, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to die. It's like, oh no, everything, which is good. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. Would recommend. So good. The art style is amazing. It's very comic book-esque. Especially because I also played the first season. I was like, oh, I'm invested in you, Batman. I'm invested. I'm invested. Which is why I think playing the first one would be good if you want to play the second one. But you don't have to, which is nice. So, we're on to the last 3, guys. We're on to the last 3. We're getting there, slowly. I know it's half an hour, but like, stick with me, okay? Stick with me. I'm probably sure I'll cut some of this stuff out. Okay, so my number 3 choice is... I must have forgot. It's Life is Strange Before the Storm, which is a prequel to Life is Strange. And in Life is Strange Before the Storm, he plays Chloe Price, which is Max's best friend from the first game. And he plays Chloe Price before Max is even back in Arcadia Bay. And Chloe's still in high school and is going through the traumas and the tribulations that high school bring. And it's fun playing as Chloe because Max was very like shy and geeky and nerdy and kind of like not outcasty, but do you know what I mean when I say like kind of? Whereas Chloe is like, screw your rules, I'm a rebel, blah, which it's so much fun playing as her. And you in this one you get to see how and why Chloe cares so much for Rachel Amber, because Rachel Amber is a very big plot point in the first game. You kind of get to see why Chloe was so invested in Rachel, why Chloe was such a big part of her life, and it's because when Chloe was at her, like, when Chloe was, like, getting to, like, a lowest point in her life, like, her dad had just died a couple years ago, school wasn't going super great, her mum is going out with someone else who's an asshole, or in Chloe's eyes is an asshole, and then Rachel came along and turned everything on its head and made Chloe look at life in a completely different way. And sometimes you do need a person to do that for you, or sometimes you need a thing to do that for you. And it's really fun getting to see Arcadia Bay and Blackwell and all that jazz at a younger stage, you know, like at a less developed stage. Chloe as more of like I'm starting to be rebellious. I'm starting to be rebellious, but I still kind of care about people in a certain way. And it's so entertaining. And I didn't even get to this bit. In Life is Strange, you had taking pictures of the collectibles. In Life is Strange Before the Storm, the prequel, you have graffiti, which makes sense for Chloe because, you know, she's a rebel without cars. It's so interesting. It's such a good storyline. It really, made me cry. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It made me cry. It made me pull my eyes out. And when I played because the 3rd episode came out recently, which was the end of Before the Storm, because there's only 3 episodes, which is a downside, but I just played the first episode, and I played it at night time, and it was like 1 in the morning. It's like, I can't cry loud, otherwise my parents will come in and ask why I'm crying. And yeah, I really enjoyed playing it. I found it a bit sad that it was only 3 episodes long, but with the storyline they went with, I felt like 3 episodes was more than enough. I feel like you were able to why Chloe was so into Rachel and why Rachel was such a big sticking point for Chloe. And I don't know, I really liked the kind of like elaboration the game sort of gave on the first game. So you can kind of look at the first game and go like, oh, you know, to a lot of stuff. Like in Before the Storm, Chloe gets her truck, Chloe meets Rachel, Chloe and David, which is the person Joyce is dating, which is Joyce's her mum. You kind of see their relationship and how that kind of gets off to a rough start. You get to see some of Chloe's friends from high school, which is really interesting. Like, you can play D&D, which is so much fun. So good. And I would, if you are a fan of the first game, would highly recommend the second game. Highly, highly, highly. I would highly recommend both of them. They're so good. And yeah, I would really, really recommend it. Especially if you do like story-driven games. Because it's very much a story-driven narrative. Which I enjoy, personally. It's one of the reasons why I look for games with good stories. Because I enjoy those. I enjoy being like, told a story, you know? 2 more. We're getting there. 2 more. Okay. So, this game, it didn't quite make it to number 1, but it's definitely on my number 2 slot because of how good and bad and scary it was at the same time. This is Outlast 2. Outlast 2 comes in at my second Second place on my list is Outlast 2. It's it had me scared, it had me concerned, it had me worried, it had me intrigued in so many different ways. It was so good. And again, I played this with Devon. Yeah, it's kind of starting to see it. Devon's around a lot. It was so interesting to see like a different story to the first game, because the first game was like in an asylum, and then there was a spooky ghost thing, is the best way to describe it. In the second one, it was about a cult. It was literally a cult, and you know, you're with your wife, and you had these flashbacks to school, and this person called Jessica, which also freaked me out. People that have the same name as me in games, especially scary games, freaks me the fuck out. So when they were saying stuff like, Jessica, get back here, I'm like, I'm here, why? Why you do this game, why? And so entertaining to play. It had me on tenterhooks so many times, like running through cornfields, hiding under beds, seeing people walk past, you know, peeking out through slats at like a woman getting like stretched. It was terrifying, some of the stuff. And I'm just glad Devon was there, because Devon played most of the game. Because if it was just me playing the game, I've told Devon this, and she was like, yeah, okay, I'm glad you got me then. If it was just me playing Outlast 2, we would have been in a locker for the entire game. We would not have seen much of the outside world. But with Devon, she's very like explorative, so we actually got to see a lot of the world, which was like so interesting. Because in the asylum, in the first game, it was very much like, you're in this asylum, and basically every room looks the same. Whereas in this one, it was like, there's cornfields, there's an underground bit, there's a church, there's a little town. Oh, and it was just, and then you had the flashbacks to the school. The school, I think if you go and watch my playthrough, you'll understand, it was one of my favourite sections, because I always try to play them as well. It was so interesting trying to figure out why we keep having flashbacks to Jess and school when we were younger. So damn good, so good. And like trying to figure out how, or if, the past stuff in school. I like how in this game you had to try and figure out how, or if the flashbacks related to the current situation. Like, was Jess a part of this cult? Who knows? Is aliens involved? Probably, but they're not going to let us know until the DLC, because I know love the DLC. Is it related to Murkoff from the first game? Are the flashbacks relevant, or are they just a red herring? Who knows? And I loved being able to do that, and I loved being able to, again, spitball off of Devon and be like, okay, this is what I think. Do you think that's right? And then Devon would go like, yeah, or no, you sound like an idiot, Jess. Which is fair. Sometimes I do. And it's such a thoroughly enjoyable game if you like scary games. If you don't like scary games, you won't enjoy it. But that's it's up to you. That's personal preference. But overall, such a bloody good game. So good. So scary. I would say it very much lives up to the hype of the first game. Although the first game definitely was like a different genre when the first game sort of came around. But the second one, you still have your camera. You're still running about. You're still trying to piece out what the F is going on here. Which is so good. And I just loved it. I loved it so much. I loved the different areas, different aspects. You being a kid or trying to figure out what happened as a kid. You as an adult trying to figure out where your wife is. Is your wife pregnant? And how is your wife pregnant? So interesting. And how it relates to the cult. And it's so good. And I still have so many questions about that game. Like, to this day, I'll go to bed and be like, we must have missed something in Outlast. Which we did. We missed a few notes. But overall, we were able to piece together what happened. And I would say, together, we kind of pieced stuff together that made the storyline make sense. Yeah, I still believe aliens were involved somehow. And, I'll be very sad if they're not. But I believe it. In my heart of hearts. I believe aliens could be involved. But I think it's time to get to my number one choice of game that I have played this year. And let's see if any of you guys guessed right. So, my favourite game this year that I have played, it Let's see if you guys can guess it from what I'm saying. It is in a mansion. It is about a family. We go looking for our wife. A big corporation is involved. There's some scary ass grandma trying to kill you. Probably if you didn't get it from that one, you probably won't, so I'll just tell you now. It is Resident Evil 7. Boy, was this such a good game this year. It came out, I believe, in like February or January. It came out very early on this year. And it lived up to the hype. I really enjoyed it. I don't know too much about the Resident Evil world as a whole. I know bits and pieces. Resident Evil 7. Such a good game. So terrifying. We had to deal with lag on our end. That's due to my computer being old. But such a good game. So good. It was so good, guys. Oh, it was I loved the sort of like you're running away from someone, but there's puzzles. You have guns, which was really fun, so you could like shoot things, because in most horror games nowadays you have to run, hide, or die, which is what Outlast says, but in this game it was like run, die, or shoot someone in the face. You can shoot people. You can heal. You'll be fine. But even though you had the gun, you still had the scare factor of like, he's coming, he's gonna be round that corner. And then you had like the molded, which were the main like kind of like Goonie kind of like characters in it. They were like we're just beings being controlled by someone. Blog. And it, you know, the storyline's so good, and how at the beginning you're like, it's just a creepy family that's gone psycho, and then you find the molded in the basement. You're like, something doesn't seem right here, and then slowly over time you get more and more information about, like, from your wife and who your wife worked for and what your wife was doing, and then you end up on a boat and you find out so much information about this little girl called Evelyn, who is actually a bio weapon, which is very weird to say, but it's so intriguing, this whole game. You end up on a boat and so much stuff happens, and you know it is in the same world as the other Resident Evils, because it mentions Raccoon City, which is where most of the Resident Evil games are like based, or around about that area. And the story was great. It had me gripped the entire time. I like how they sort of trickled out the demos before the game came out. Like you had 1, 2, and 3, and then with each one, like a different area got unlocked or a new thing was added, and it was so entertaining. And then the main game definitely like lived up to what the what the demo put down. And the main game, it's so Resident Evil-y and so scary, and it's such like a new take on the Resident Evil genre, but not in a bad way. It's such a good like sort of entry to like freshen up the Resident Evil series, because 6 was definitely something that 6 definitely put people off, because people are like, why, but this game, you got to play as a completely different character, Ethan. He was looking for his wife, who's been missing for a very long time. I think it's like a couple years, or maybe it's like a couple months, I can't remember. But it's a while. And you get this email one day saying, I'm at this place from your wife, you assume. And then once you get there, boy, does shit hit the fan, and you have to run, hide, duck, and jump your way to victory. And it's so good. So good. And what I didn't, when the main game finished, I was like, but what about this person and that person? Don't worry, the DLC got you covered. Stuff that didn't end very well in the main game, the DLC kind of covered. And for me, it was like, my life has been complete. I was like, all the theories and ideas I had about those characters, it's been put to rest. They're cool now, you know? But Resident Evil 7, it is expensive, yes, but the sale is on right now as I speak. So go have a look how much it is on the sale. If it's cheap and you've got the money, pick it up. I would highly recommend it. And pick up the season pass while you're there, because the season pass is definitely worth it, in my opinion. You get like 4 minigame DLCs, and then like 4 main story-based DLCs, which are like good story-based DLCs. So I would definitely recommend it. I'd recommend the main game, even if you don't want to get the DLC. Just get the main game. So good. So worth it. It's so entertaining and very, very Resident Evil-y. You have to like think about, you have to not time manage, you have to like manage your equipment, you know, am I going to need this? Have I got room for this? Is this going to be too annoying to use? Is this the right weapon to use on this character? It's such an entertaining game, and I would definitely recommend it. So that's my number 1 game. So there's no more I can say. But I have played every game that I have played this year has been worth it. So worth it, in fact, that I just it was really hard making this list. Really, really hard. But I'm glad I did, and I'm glad you guys know what my favourite games were this year. If you guys care. Otherwise, you guys haven't watched the video, which is fine. But tell me down below, what was your favourite game this year? Or your like a top 3 that you've played or that came out this year. Let me know down below. And I will reply to them because I enjoy replying to comments. And I appreciate every single one of you that has watched my videos and liked and commented. It really does make my heart, like, I'm like, oh, when I see like comments or people liking it, I'm like, oh, people like this. And I don't know, it makes me happy inside. So, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. So, if you guys have enjoyed the past year of content and this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, favourite, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring. But don't feel obliged to any of those things if you don't want to understand. And I hope you guys are still around to see the new year with me and see what I have in store, because I have a couple of things up my sleeve to play. Stuff I picked up on the sale. I'm like, yes, I've been wanting to play for a while. A few of them are scary, but I'll let you guys figure out what those are when they come up on the channel. And yeah, I will see you guys in the new year. Okay. Bye, guys.